What's going on, everyone, and welcome to NFL Nexus. We're the channel where we dive deep into the X's and O's, the front office moves, and the grand strategies that shape the league we all love. And today, we've got a fascinating one for you. We're talking about the New York Giants. For years, they've been, well, let's be honest, they've been broken. But their new plan to fix the team, it doesn't start where you think. It's not about a shiny new quarterback or a blockbuster free agent signing. Nope. It starts with a pretty radical idea that the most important part of a rebuild happens not on the field, but deep inside the training room. It's a fascinating strategy, so make sure you're subscribed and let's get into it.
So to really understand where the Giants are going, you have to appreciate just how bad things got. And the defining story of their 2025 season, it was this. It was the injury report. Week after week, it was a revolving door of key players heading to injured reserve. You see, this wasn't just about losing games anymore. It was about not even having the players on the field to be competitive in the first place. It wasn't just a slump. It had become a full-blown crisis of availability.
And right here, this single fact, this contrast, is everything. This is the key that unlocks the entire strategy. You've got one team, the Giants, that felt like they were held together by tape and prayers. And on the other side of the league, you have a team that was a model of health, a dominant force. The Giants' entire new philosophy is built on bridging that massive gap, and it all starts by facing the cold, hard numbers of how bad things really were.
Okay, so let's really dig into the scale of this thing. To understand the new blueprint, we first have to fully grasp the depth of the problem the Giants were facing. I'm telling you, this wasn't just a bad season, it was a foundational breakdown of the entire organization.
The record? Well, it speaks for itself, doesn't it? 4-13. It's dismal. It was another completely lost season that led to, you guessed it, yet another coaching search. It felt like Groundhog Day for Giants fans. But that final record, as ugly as it is, was actually hiding a much deeper, much more troubling number that tells the real story.
240. Let this number sink in for a second. This is what truly defined their season. That's the total number of man games lost to injury. Think about that. That means for every single game of the season, the Giants were missing on average more than 14 players from their active roster. It's an absolutely staggering figure that shows the team not just battling their opponents on Sunday, but constantly battling its own physical limitations every single day of the week. You simply cannot win in the NFL like that.
So what you have here are two interconnected disasters running in parallel. You've got a team that can't win on the field, and you've got a roster that can't even stay healthy enough to practice. And here's the thing, you can't fix one without fixing the other. You can draft all the talent in the world, but it doesn't matter if they're always in the medical tent. This situation required more than just a new coach with a new playbook. It demanded a complete and total teardown of the team's entire philosophy on player health and performance.
So the very first step in that massive philosophical change was to go out and get arguably the most sought-after, most respected coaching candidate of the entire hiring cycle, a proven winner with a crystal-clear vision for how to build a team from the ground up.
The hiring of John Harbaugh, this wasn't just about getting a new face in the building. It was a massive statement of intent from the front office. Harbaugh brought with him the famously tough, disciplined, and, most importantly, consistently successful culture that he had cultivated for years with the Baltimore Ravens. The moment that hire was announced, the message from ownership to the fans and to the league was clear. The era of excuses was officially over.
So Harbaugh walks in the door. What's his very first move? What's priority number one? Well, it wasn't about installing a newfangled offensive scheme or drawing up exotic defensive blitzes. Nope, it was about getting a shovel and fixing the team's crumbling, unstable foundation.
Harbaugh immediately, on day one, targeted the single biggest issue that was plaguing this franchise, keeping his players on the field. He is a guy who's been around the league for a long time, and he understands a fundamental truth. No scheme, no matter how brilliant, no play call, no matter how clever, can possibly work if your best players are watching the game from the sidelines in street clothes. It all starts with availability.
Now, this slide right here is the whole ballgame. This is the why behind everything the Giants are doing. The contrast it reveals is it's stark. On the left, you see the Giants' crisis, 240 man games lost, the 6th worst in the entire league. A whopping 28 different players missed significant time. Now look at the right. That's Harbaugh's former team, the Ravens, in that very same season. Only 148 man games lost. That's nearly 100 fewer. They were the 6th healthiest team in the NFL. They had half as many players suffer major injuries. It's not even close. The Ravens weren't just a little bit healthier, they were operating on a completely different planet when it came to player durability. This data, this one slide, justifies the entire strategy.
So what was the solution? It was bold and it was decisive. Harbaugh didn't just leave Baltimore, he brought its high-performance engine with him to New York. He poached the exact people who built one of the league's most durable rosters. You've got Sam Rosengarten, a guru in high performance who is all about the data, tracking player load management and preventing injuries before they can even happen. You've got Ron Schrift and Brian Ellis, the guys in charge of the entire strength program. And the key detail here is that all three of them followed Harbaugh directly from Baltimore. The goal wasn't just to copy the blueprint, it was to literally hire the architects themselves.
All right, so with that new foundation for player health being poured, it was finally time to start building the team on top of it. And that meant finding players who fit a new, tougher, more durable identity right from the very start of their careers. Which brings us, of course, to the NFL Draft.
For a coach like John Harbaugh, a guy with a distinct philosophy, the answer might lie in a position he understands better than almost anyone else in the entire league. A position that has been the absolute cornerstone of his legendary defenses for over a decade.
And this insight from ESPN analyst Field Yates really connects the dots for us. It provides a direct line from Harbaugh's past success with Hall of Fame level players to his potential future draft strategy. He personally coached Ed Reed, one of the greatest to ever do it. He developed Kyle Hamilton into an all-pro chess piece. He knows firsthand how a truly elite, versatile safety can completely transform an entire defensive unit.
And if you follow that logic, Field Yates projects what he calls a curveball pick for the Giants at number 5 overall. A lot of mock drafts have them taking a quarterback or a receiver, a flashy offensive weapon. But the prediction here is that the very first draft pick of the John Harbaugh era won't be on offense at all. It'll be a defensive cornerstone, the incredible safety from Ohio State, Caleb Downs.
So, this is the crucial point. What makes Caleb Downs a Harbaugh-type player? Well, he isn't just a safety. He's what analysts call a force multiplier. That means his presence on the field makes everyone around him better. His elite versatility is the key. He can play deep as a traditional free safety, reading the quarterback's eyes. He can come up in the box and be an extra linebacker to stop the run. He can even slide over and cover shifty receivers in the slot. He's a defensive chess piece that gives a coordinator incredible flexibility, and he embodies the tough, smart, and versatile identity that Harbaugh wants to build his entire team around.
And if you want one number to understand his impact, here it is, 47.9. That was the passer rating opposing quarterbacks had when they dared to target Caleb Downs in coverage last season. Now let me put that into perspective for you. If a quarterback takes the snap and just throws the ball into the dirt every single play, their passer rating is 39.6. So Downs, when he was in coverage, made opposing QBs only slightly more effective than if they were just throwing incompletions on purpose. He essentially turns whichever receiver he's covering into a complete non-option for the offense. It is absolutely dominant.
So now let's step back and look at the big picture. When you put all of these pieces together, the coach, the new trainers, the potential draft pick, a clear, logical, and incredibly cohesive plan emerges from what might have initially seemed like a bunch of unrelated offseason moves. You can see it right here. It's a remarkably methodical blueprint for a rebuild. Step 1, hire the architect, a proven leader in John Harbaugh. Step 2, and this is the most important one, fix the completely broken foundation by making player health the #1 priority. And only then, once that's in place, do you move to step 3, begin drafting an identity with players who fit that new, tougher, more durable culture. It's patient and it's smart. And this really explains why these seemingly separate moves, hiring a bunch of trainers from Baltimore and drafting a safety from Ohio State, are actually two perfectly connected parts of the exact same plan. One move builds the foundation, ensuring the structure is sound. The other starts building the skyscraper on top of it. You have to have both. So is this the new way to do it? By prioritizing the unglamorous, behind-the-scenes work of player health and performance analytics before you even think about chasing splashy free agents, and by focusing on a foundational defensive identity player over an offensive skill player, the Giants are betting on a slow and steady foundational approach to long-term success. The question now is, in a league that's completely obsessed with high-flying offense, will this health-first, defense-centric blueprint be the one that finally brings the New York Giants back to relevance? I'd love to know what you think. Drop a comment below and let me know if you believe in this plan. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to NFL Nexus for more deep dives all season long. We'll see you next time.